know what I need to do, but I don't think I have the strength to escape this abusive marriage. Any advice for me? Hey everyone, this is going to be a long one, but I need to get it out. I packed my bags. It feels like the biggest weight has been lifted off my chest, even though I am still scared and unsure about what the future holds. After the holidays, I am proceeding with the divorce. Let me tell you why. My wife is 23. We have been married for 4.5 years, which, looking back, seems insane considering how young we were when we tied the knot. This Christmas was the breaking point. She outright refused to let me see my family, not even for a couple of hours in the morning. When I tried to compromise or explain how important it was for me, she twisted the conversation, made me feel like I was being unreasonable, and even threatened to cancel her plans with her family. For context, her siblings, parents, grandparents, and an aunt are all traveling to her parents' house for the holidays. And yet, I am expected to spend the entire day with them, a family that openly dislikes me. They barely hide their contempt, and every holiday with them is a miserable experience. I feel suffocated just thinking about it. The truth is, this has been brewing for months. We argue almost every single day. It is exhausting. She has not worked in 10 months, not because she cannot, but because she chooses not to. Her days are spent scrolling through her phone, racking up over 10 hours of screen time daily. When I get home after a grueling 10 to 12 hour shift, I am the one who has to cook, clean, and do the dishes. It is not just the chores. It is the complete lack of effort on her part. It feels like I am carrying this entire marriage on my back, and it has worn me down to the bone. I am so tired. This part is hard to talk about. She has become physically abusive. The other day, she threw a half-filled metal water bottle at my leg. I barely even reacted. I just stood there, numb. This is not the first time either. I used to feel angry or hurt when these things happened. Now, I feel nothing. It is like I have shut off a part of myself just to survive in this situation. I work over 60 hours a week at a decent job, but no matter how hard I work, it never feels like enough. 95% of my income goes toward bills. She has $18,000 in debt from beauty school, which she has given up on and will probably never finish. I am the one paying off her debt, along with the rent, groceries, her car payment, insurance, her phone bill, everything. Meanwhile, I am still dealing with $6,000 in personal debt from a car repossession 3 years ago and some credit card balances. Financially, I am drowning, and I see no way out as long as I stay in this marriage. My family has been incredibly supportive. They have seen what I have been going through and told me I deserve better. It has taken me a long time to believe that. Her family, on the other hand, has never liked me. Honestly, I think they will be glad to see me go. Leaving her is the hardest decision I have ever made. I have always been a people pleaser. I hate hurting others, and I have lived my life trying to make her happy, even at the expense of my own well-being. But I cannot do it anymore. This marriage has drained me emotionally, physically, and financially. I need to take care of myself for once. Right now, I am staying with a friend. After the holidays, I plan to file for divorce. I know it will not be easy, splitting up finances, dealing with the emotional fallout, and moving on. But it feels like the only choice I have left. I do not know what the future holds, but for the first time in years, I feel a glimmer of hope. Maybe there is a chance for me to build a life where I am not just surviving, but actually living. Thank you for reading this far. I just needed to get it all off my chest. If anyone has advice on navigating this next chapter, I am all ears. Comments. Rick Cassidy. You know what to do. I don't need to tell you. Imagine 50 more years of this. Make sure you don't get her PR. Professional Row 605. He won't survive 50 years of this. His blood pressure is likely through the roof and his immune system is likely shutting down. He would be lucky to get 30 years if he stays with her. Historical Map 844. This isn't people-pleasing. With all due respect, this is cowardice. This woman is dominating every aspect of your life while you are supporting hers. Not only is this not a good relationship, it will destroy your self-esteem if it hasn't already. You are a hard-working guy, and you seem like a good dude. That said, if you don't stand up for yourself, You are going to notice a pattern of spouses and partners who bully and berate you while you get nothing out of it. You remind me a lot of myself when I was starting to date, and I hated myself at that time. Because of that, I feel I have to be harsh, or you will not listen, or go to your comfort zone of being her punching bag. She does not respect you. She runs up your bills. She keeps you from your loved ones. She makes you work after you work. Get your shit and get her the fuck out of your life, man. God bless, and sorry for being a prick. Josh Invav, OP. This is the best, raw, unfiltered advice you can get. It may seem overwhelming, hard, and something you can't recover from, but dude, millions of people get divorced. Millions have recovered from them. I can tell you, historical map seed 8444 is correct. This is cowardice and wholeheartedly manipulation. You have no control over your own life and a partner who seems like she's only there for herself. FFS, do not stick your dick this woman, or you're going to regret it for the rest of your life. Good luck. We're all here if you need us, bud. Ahmed Louis. He's not a coward. It's not cowardice. He's being abused. Why would you say to a victim of domestic abuse violence that the reason they haven't left it because they are a coward? He's so burnt out and exhausted and probably in fight or flight. It's victim blaming, and the only one at fault is her. If he tried to defend himself, she would just cry wolf and say he'd been abusive to her, and she'd be believed, and everyone, police, family, society, would cancel him. Tallahassee 44, you gotta go, bro. You're gonna have to find that strength somewhere. Otherwise, you're gonna wake up in 10 years in a world you don't want to live in. The first step is the hardest. What you need to do right now is go pack a bag and go spend Christmas with your folks and tell them everything that is going on. Doesn't matter what she says. Get up right now and go. Abusers do not magically stop. Ian J. Ferguson. You can just leave, brother. I wish so many people in my life had told me this. You need to treat yourself like you treat her. You can figure out the money stuff. You can figure everything out. Just leave. Be kind to yourself. Give me a heart, off flesh. The days go on. Debt won't be the end of you. People come back from all positions in life. Don't stay for financial reasons. Life finds a way, and you have plenty of time to get yourself situated again. Obviously, this situation cannot go on. Upset Ed 7701. Man, trust me when I say you won't hurt her. She doesn't like you, respect you, or love you. I would be moved out before midnight tonight. That would be the greatest Christmas miracle to yourself. Leave it all behind. As far as her not having a job, she did this because she figured it would trap you into staying. She knows you very well. As far as her family goes, she is the reason they don't like you. Let them support her from here on out. Good luck. Aggressive, add 5454. This is the way. You can also consult with a local anti-domestic violence agency. They have counselors who can help you figure out your next moves. These agencies used to be called battered women's shelters until people learned that situations like yours are all too common, and that it's grossly unfair for the mistreated party to have to give up their housing to be safe. Good and dedicated people are there to help you. One next move. Keep your trousers zipped up. Children in your situation, no, just no. Look, there is zero shame in letting a marriage go in these circumstances. Strength, hope, and peace to you and your family. Update post 1. It's 3:00 a.m. on Christmas morning, and I finally had the time and the courage to come home from work, pack a bag, and tell my wife that I'm done. Honestly, I don't know what took me so long. I've been putting this off for months, maybe even longer, hoping things would change. But they haven't, and now I'm finally at my breaking point. We've had so many arguments over the years, so many pointless fights. I've endured so much pain, swallowed my pride, and given up all my hobbies and passions just to try and make things work with her. I've bent over backward for her. I've been patient, understanding, and supportive. But in the end, it feels like I've just been running in circles, giving everything I've got and getting nowhere. I still care about her. I really do. In some twisted way, I hope that this will be the wake-up call she needs to realize she has to get the help she's been avoiding for so long. I hope she does the work, gets the therapy, or whatever it is that could help her, for her sake, and for anyone who comes into her life after me. I've decided that after the holidays, I'm filing for divorce. I've been waiting for the holidays to pass, mostly because I don't want to ruin her time with her family. As messed up as everything is, I do still care enough not to completely destroy what little peace she has left for these few days. But I've reached my limit. I don't think people understand how hard this is to say, but I can't be in this relationship anymore. And before anyone jumps to conclusions, let me clarify something. I'm worried about her, yes. But what she did, I can't ignore it, and I can't forgive it. If the roles were reversed, if she were in my shoes, I know she would have left in a heartbeat. That's what hurts the most. I've given so much, sacrificed so much, and she's still choosing to make decisions that have pushed me to this point. We don't have kids, which I guess in a way makes this decision easier and harder all at once. But I don't think that should make any difference. The idea that we just keep going around in this toxic loop for the rest of our lives is unbearable. And I've realized now that I'm never going to get the kind of love, respect, and support I deserve from this. I'm scared, honestly. I'm scared of the unknown. I'm scared of being alone. I'm scared of regret. But I can't keep living this way. I need to find myself again. I'm just reaching out because if anyone has been through this, if you've gone through a divorce and actually stuck to it, how did you not backpedal? How did you stop yourself from second-guessing everything and feeling guilty for the choice you made? Because right now, I feel like I'm on the edge of a cliff, and I'm not sure if I'm going to fall or fly. If you want to talk, please do. I really need some advice on how to not rethink this decision because right now, my mind is a mess. Thanks for taking the time to read this. Comments. Darkness. Beyond. Read this. Book yourself into therapy and don't communicate with her except through your lawyer. She will try to manipulate you to get you to come back. She'll promise to change. She might threaten to hurt herself. She might get friends to bother you on her behalf. You need to focus on yourself. Leola Williams, 59. And don't have sex with her. I don't care what she says. Because here comes the baby trap. I'm so glad that you got out. The fact that you are a man does not make it easier when you are in an abusive relationship. Block her on everything. Check your credit. In fact, shut your credit down. Remove access to your money in the bank. If all the payments for the phone, a student, that everything, the insurance for her car, everything is on prepaid, take it off. She is taking full advantage of you, and you are in an abusive relationship. I want you to know your worth and good luck. And if you have to leave the state to get away from her, do it. Easy enough to say, I left my marriage of 15 plus years a year and a half ago. We have 4 kids together, and honestly, it's the only reason I stayed so long. My ex was manipulative, emotional, and verbally abusive, and just an overall not a nice person. It hasn't necessarily been easy, but I've been happier over the last 18 months than I ever was in that marriage. Okay, Purple 766. The key is, remembered the pain. Very often, when you separate from someone, over time you remember things differently, and you think of the good times. Don't. Remember the bad. Remember there is a reason you left. Best is to cut contact and have communication go through a lawyer only.
Cherry Big Boy. OP.
Thank you so much for saying that. I completely understand what you mean. I had my phone on mute all night, couldn't sleep, so I checked my texts from her, and that's all it is. Just manipulative tactics to get me to go back. She's trying too hard, saying sweet things, but I'm just remembering the things she's thrown, how I've had to forget everything I care about for her.
Yamaretsu!
Be careful. Don't see her again without a witness, and keep all communication in writing. Or if you have to speak by phone or in person, record it. The most dangerous time for someone leaving an abusive partner is just after you leave. She is an abuser. She has isolated you like any other victim of domestic violence. It's a myth that women aren't domestic abusers. It's just less common and less reported. Consider the police as well as a lawyer or domestic violence charities if you feel brave enough. I'm so glad you have got out. Do not go back. She will not change. It might be different short term until she feels like she has control over you, and then it will get even worse. Good luck. Let your family look after you, and if they offer to communicate on your behalf, that doesn't make you weak. It means you are protecting yourself using a buffer so she can't manipulate you anymore. Update post 2. Thank you all so much for your kind words and advice. The support and empathy from so many of you have been a real lifeline over these past few days. It's hard to explain, but just knowing that there are people who understand makes this whole situation a little less suffocating. I want to share more about what's been happening since I left, as things have gotten a lot more complicated and a lot more real. I managed to find a temporary place to stay with a close friend. Honestly, in these few days since I left, I've had a chance to breathe, to think, and to process everything. The weight of living with the constant pressure of my marriage is gone. The loneliness, though, It's been a strange thing to feel. At first it was overwhelming, but then I realized that this emptiness, this solitude, is so much better than the toxic dynamic I had been drowning in. I don't wake up to the tension, the arguments, the constant walking on eggshells. And for the first time in a long time, I'm not putting myself last. I've spent a lot of time reflecting, thinking about the things I gave up over the years. My hobbies, my friendships, my peace of mind. It hit me like a ton of bricks when I realized just how much I sacrificed. How many compromises I made. How much of my life I handed over on a silver platter, just hoping things would get better. But they never did. And I kept telling myself it was worth it. Well, it wasn't. Not even close. I've also started the process of finding a divorce lawyer. That was a tough step. But I feel like it's necessary now, like there's no turning back. The thing that's really been weighing on my mind, though, is the constant barrage of texts and calls from her. She's been reaching out nonstop. Sometimes she begs for me to come back. Other times, she accuses me of abandoning her, of being the one to ruin everything. I won't lie, it messes with my head. There are moments when I almost feel guilty, when I start wondering if I should go back to help her, to somehow fix things. But then I stop myself. I remind myself of everything I've already endured. I think about all the pain, the emotional toll, the things I've let slide over the years, and I realize that I can't continue this. I can't keep sacrificing my well-being for someone who refuses to take any responsibility for her own actions. I'm still figuring things out, but right now, the thought of returning to that life, it feels impossible. I deserve more than what I've been living through. I deserve peace. I deserve respect. But then there's one thing that's really thrown me off balance. A message I got from her last night. She said she was going to meet with her own lawyer and that I will have to pay for everything. I don't know what exactly she meant by that, but it feels ominous. I'm not sure what she's planning, but it made me realize I need to be more careful, more proactive in protecting myself legally. The last thing I need is to be blindsided by something I didn't expect. So, I'm considering reaching out to a legal expert for more thorough advice. I have no idea what direction she's trying to take this, but I know that I need to be ready. Despite everything, I still feel like leaving was the right decision. There are moments when the guilt creeps in, but then I remind myself of how miserable I was, how trapped I felt. It was either leave or completely lose myself in this marriage. I can't let that happen. Maybe this is the opportunity to start fresh, to reclaim my life, no matter how painful or difficult that might be. I'll keep you all posted. Thanks again for being here. Your advice has meant more than I can express. Update post 3. I never thought I would be updating again so soon, but here we are. The last few days have been a whirlwind. I don't even know where to begin. I guess the most pressing thing is that I received a call from my mother-in-law. I've never had the best relationship with her, but for the most part, she's always been loyal to her daughter, even when things were clearly going downhill with us. This time, though, was different. She called me in tears. Apparently, my wife is in a very bad state right now. According to her, my wife is refusing to eat and is constantly blaming everyone in her family for what happened between us. She's spiraling, apparently, throwing blame at everyone, and I can only imagine the toll it's taking on her family as well. Honestly, hearing that made me feel conflicted. It broke my heart a little, but at the same time, I know I can't keep putting myself in a situation where I'm responsible for someone else's actions. I can't carry this burden any longer. It felt like a wake-up call for me in a way. I can feel for her, but at the end of the day, she's an adult who is capable of making her own decisions. And as much as I wish I could help, I know I'm not the one who can fix this for her. She needs to want to help herself first. But that wasn't the worst part. Yesterday, I checked our joint bank account and I was hit with a shock. The entire balance had been drained. She transferred everything to her personal account. I had no idea it was happening. I'm sitting here, trying to get my life together, trying to stay afloat, and she wiped out the account without even a conversation. I don't even know what to feel about it. Anger, frustration, fear, it's all tangled together. I'm now scrambling, trying to figure out what I can do to get by without that money. I've been paying for everything, rent, bills, groceries, her debts, you name it. And now I'm stuck in a situation where I'm trying to figure out how to survive with what little I have left. I've talked to my lawyer, and they've recommended that I file a request to freeze the remaining account. I'm not sure what else she might do next, and I need to make sure she can't access any more money or make decisions that affect me financially. This divorce, it's no longer just about ending a relationship. It's about protecting myself, my finances, and my future.
What I've realized in all of this is that love can't fix everything. It can't change someone who doesn't want to change. I spent so much time hoping she would get better, that we could somehow work through our issues, but I was always the one putting in the work, and it wasn't fair to either of us. I can't keep trying to fix someone who doesn't want to fix themselves.
I still hope she gets the help she needs. I genuinely do. But I can't be the one to enable her behavior anymore. It's too much for me to carry. I'm already carrying so many burdens on my own, and I need to focus on my own healing. I wish I could say this situation will get better, that there's hope for us to have some sort of resolution or even friendship in the future, but right now, I can't see it. The more I think about it, the clearer it becomes that walking away was the only option left. I just hope she figures things out on her own. As for me, I'm trying to rebuild my life, one step at a time. It's not easy, and it's far from perfect, but I'm getting there. The process isn't linear, and every day brings something new, but I'm learning to take it day by day. I still have a long road ahead, but for the first time in a long time, I'm starting to feel like I'm on the right path. I'll keep you all updated if anything major happens. I appreciate all of your support and advice. This journey would be a lot harder without it.